I left the army and transferred everything into my pension, and my concerns are that the government's going to rip it apart completely and I'm going to end up with very little.
Morale at the moment is rock bottom.
People are just cheesed off, exhausted, run down.
We normally, try and keep morale up by having a laugh and stuff on team, but even that's dying now.
I love the job, but I also want a future for myself and my family.
This is not just about pay and conditions, this is about cuts. And if we look at the 16,000 that are going to be cut, that's the equivalent of taking every single police officer out of the Yorkshire and Humber.
I came into this job 22 years ago with a set of terms and conditions. Those terms and conditions have been, over the years, eroded and eroded and eroded to be a shadow of what they were when I joined.
We pay 11% towards our pension, which is far more than anyone else. We do pay a hell of a lot towards that pension. And in terms of, what we do in terms of not seeing our families.
You say to your other half, oh, I'll be home for dinner, and then something happens and you're not.
In terms of working up to 24-hour shifts, which is not unheard of at the moment.
Your rest days are getting cancelled left, right and centre.
At times my health has suffered.
You can then look at it and think, right, okay, I'm putting myself through that sort of sacrifice, but in the end, I know I'm going to have security and a decent pension, but at this moment in time, we don't know if we're going to have that.
I was supposed to be on annual leave for the recent riots, and that got cancelled. And I'm happy to do that, and I think if you're not happy to cancel your annual leave when the country's in that sort of state, then I think maybe you're in the wrong job. However, you expect to be treated well at the end of it, and I don't think we are being treated well. And I can't think of any other job that would cancel your annual leave and not compensate you.
You begin to wonder if we're going to end up in a situation like we were in the 70s before I joined, when they couldn't get anybody in the job because it was a badly paid job.
It really upsets me because this is not just about pay and conditions, this is about cuts. And if we look at the 16,000 that are going to be cut, that's the equivalent of taking every single police officer out of the Yorkshire and Humber. That's what the government is proposing, to strip a region's worth of policing out of the country. I find it unbelievable that when we're in a period of austerity and rising public order problems, that the government is basically attacking the one organisation that does keep law and order on the streets.
Looking at some of the proposals and what they've got in mind for us, and the fact that they won't even negotiate or look at the options that have been proposed by the Federation, just makes you wonder, what the agenda is.
I wasn't expecting to be peeved off with it after 3 years, and I think a lot of people already are. And I think if you're that annoyed with it after 3 years, how are you going to feel after 10, 15 years' time?
I had a choice when I left university. I could have done a variety of jobs that would have been better paid than this, but it wasn't about, at that time, it wasn't about pay. It was about, I wanted a vocation, I wanted a career, I wanted to do something that made a difference. And I feel like I've done that, and I feel there's nothing else I want to do. But that said, constant kicks in the teeth from the government mean that I'm starting to wonder why I do bother.
At sort of 30 years old, where I'm just about to get married and hope to start a family, I'm genuinely worried for my future.
As it is at the moment, I barely see my girlfriend for the last couple of weeks anyway. If I get less money for it and I'm expected to work for longer, the morale is, I'm not really going to be too keen to work and do it, to be perfectly frank. I mean, why would you if you're getting less than you thought you were going to get when you signed up?
Lots of guys I know have gone through problems at home with their children and relationships and marriages simply because the hours of work at the moment.
I've had a fantastic time in the Met Police. I think the bottom line is, would I advise my son to join the police? And I wouldn't, which I think is very sad.
I love the job, but I also want a future for myself and my family.
We want to help people, and we generally want to put something back into London. But it's not a one-way street. We need help from the government, and we need the public to support us.